Holden, it's finally here. Avengers Endgame.
It's finally here.
It's finally
I'm so
here.
excited. Oh
We're
my
going to
God.
review it. This is our non-spoiler review. We will have a spoiler review coming
I
very
haven't seen
soon.
it yet, Jimmy.
I'm going to
kidding.
spoil it for Holden right now. We saw it last night. We are very excited to see it. And spoiler, we loved it a lot. There you go. That's the only spoiler of this review. Without further ado, let's get into it. Holden, what stood out to you in this movie?
Well, to start, I really thought the acting was very, very good.
Yes, very good acting. Any standout performances from you?
Well, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. always does a very good job. I think, I don't know, it's hard to pick a standout performance because I think everyone was just really good.
I think, I agree. Everyone is incredibly solid in their roles in this movie. Of course, I mean, you have Josh Brolin as Thanos, knocks it out of the park once again. I think all your core Avengers from the original film were excellent in this movie. Each one of them had a great arc, great emotional deliveries in certain areas. Overall, really great acting all around.
Yeah. The one kind of problem area, I guess, there would be like Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm totally bought into Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. The character itself, I think, could be pretty interesting, like the whole snarky, sort of confident, powerful. I mean, it works for Thor.
Yeah.
I think Thor has a little bit more character to him. So as of right now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but yeah, so far Brie Larson, just her delivery of I don't know exactly if it's her mannerisms or what it is. I just haven't bought into her interpretation of Captain Marvel yet.
Well, and we have to wonder if part of that's like the writing of the original movie.
That's true.
What I learned when reading about it last night is apparently they, and I guess this makes sense, they filmed this movie before she filmed Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So she didn't even like really have a character, I guess, fleshed out.
That's true.
Or thought of yet. So.
And if you're wondering, you really don't have to see Captain Marvel to see this movie.
No.
I don't think it takes that much away from the experience.
No, there's just like maybe one shot or two that kind of allude to it.
Yeah.
But it's not a big deal.
And if you're worried that Captain Marvel is going to be like this huge part of this movie, and you think you need to see the other one, you don't. And she's not a huge part of this movie, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not like she's like, oh, she comes in and she's this huge major game changer.
Yeah.
No. Other things, the score is pretty solid in this movie.
Yeah, it is. It's very good.
You're a big fan of the Infinity War score.
Yes.
You've listened to it quite a bit. Do you have any extra insight that you'd like to add in this non-spoiler review?
Yeah. So Endgame has its own original score, a lot of original stuff by Alan Silvestri, but they also reuse a few songs from Infinity War, and it's kind of interesting the way they do that. But I thought it worked really well, and I thought the songs they reused were really good, and I liked it.
Holden, there's a lot of CGI in this movie.
Of course there is, Jimmy.
Yeah. How does that does it work for you? I personally didn't feel it take me out of the movie at all. I was totally immersed in the experience. I thought, the huge fight scenes and whatever and all the major computer generated stuff, I was sold on it, and it didn't distract me at all.
Yeah, none of it looked like really bad at all. I can't even think of a single moment where I was like, wow, that looks fake. Because I mean, most of these movies have at least one point where you can like, oh, that looks like a set with like green screen or something, but I couldn't really think of.
And I wasn't thinking
like
of it too. I was so engrossed with the story that a lot of that stuff didn't come to mind.
For sure.
Some critics had a problem with that. Another thing the critics, the people who have been a little bit more critical of this movie have pointed out is the fan service. Do you think the fan service in Infinity or in Endgame rather is warranted, or is it a little over the top?
I think the fan service was done really well. You don't have a whole lot for any individual character where it seems overbearing, but most characters have like almost every character actually has at least a little bit of fan service that fans of those characters will enjoy.
Yeah, I think the fan service in this movie really works for the plot. It's very creatively interwoven. I don't think a lot of it is out of place. I think tonally this movie balances the weight of the aftermath of Infinity War with the lightheartedness that you would expect from a Marvel movie, and the emotional stakes, the kind of the theme of family throughout this movie really hit home, and overall, this is a very satisfying conclusion to phases 1 through 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Reminded me of a Fast and the Furious movie where the themes are also family.
Wow.
But I had read somewhere that this movie, or like the first 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe are almost like a season of a TV show, where like each movie is like an individual episode, but instead it's like a big blockbuster movie.
Yeah, because it equates to about 45 hours ish, so that is like a 4-season TV show pretty much.
Yeah,
which it does definitely feel like this. If you've watched all the movies, you're going to be rewarded.
Oh yeah.
The more you've seen of the MCU, the more you're going to take from this movie. Just all the little winks and nods.
Every movie connects to it in some way.
Yeah. With that being said, this movie is incredibly surprising. It goes in directions that I certainly wasn't expecting, even after watching all of the theory videos and all of that. I know there were moments when we were watching it, we turned to each other and we were like, whoa, I couldn't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, really exciting. I love what they did with the characters. I thought this was the perfect ending to that, like I said, the phase 1 through 3 of the MCU. If you decided you don't want to watch any more Marvel movies after this, I think this would be a good ending. But you will, and Disney's going to make another $10 trillion.
Because you're listening to our podcast and we're telling you to watch those movies because we're being paid by Disney to tell you to watch those movies.
So overall, I would give this a 9 out of 10. Holden, your thoughts after first viewing?
I think it's probably 9 out of 10.
All right, there you have it. Stay tuned. We will have a spoiler review coming soon. Also, Battle of Winterfell is this Sunday for you Game of Thrones fans.
Woo-hoo! Get excited for that.
So stay tuned if you want to hear our review on that. Thanks for watching.
We love you. Bye.